Hello, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to our R039 series where we're going to be carrying on our photo frame project for the OCR Engineering Design GCSE coursework for this year. So if you remember in the last session, which is a while ago now, we did our exploded drawing and we showed you how to put a bill of materials table in, assign materials to all of your parts, and then do your actual exploded drawing and put all your pins on it. Okay, what you're going to do today is an orthographic drawing. So this is the second and sort of third drawing that you're going to do that completes task 3. All you can do is click on Insert New Tab in the bottom left-hand corner here, this little plus. You're going to click Create Drawing, and you're going to make sure you find the ISO A3DWT drawing and click OK. And when it loads, you're going to find, you should have this panel open already. You're going to go into assemblies. So you should have part studios with your list of all the parts that you've got. And then at the top, just to the right, you've got assemblies. If you click on that, you'll have your full thing. And you're just going to click on that. And when you click on that, you should get a square, which indicates how big your drawing is going to be currently. Don't worry if that's too big or too small. We're going to change that now. So in scale, and don't click to drop, you can have it hovering. We can change it later, but we can have it hovering. You can just move to view scale in this tab here and click the drop down, and it's currently on 1:8. That means it's 8 times smaller than it would be in real life. If I go down to, or go up to 1.5, it's going to make it a little bit bigger, and that's going to be plenty big enough for what I want to do today. So once I'm happy with all that, I just click to drop it. And without clicking again, you should see that once it loads, I've got another view that automatically pulls out. Now, this is where it can get a bit tricky depending on what plane you've actually drawn it on. So if we zoom in, you will see that all the screws on this drawing, they go from the right to the left. That's not what we want. We want to imagine that this drawing has been uh, rotated backwards from this edge here. So it would actually be the other way. The screws would be going the other way, and it would basically what you want to do is imagine from the side view that the wall is on the right hand side. So all you're going to do for this is you're going to pull the view out of this side, and you'll see now it is oriented, so the screws go to the right. You're going to click once, click escape, and now you can just drag it all the way over. If you've done it on a different plane, you will find that that view will automatically point the right way. But all you can do now is click on this button at the top, which says projected view. It's the second main button along. You've got insert, and then you've got projected view. You're going to click on that. You're going to click once more on your main image, and you're going to pull it up. So we've got a top view, and again, you can see we want those screws going to the top of the page. Imagine it's going in the ceiling. So all we're going to do is pull it down to the bottom. Again, you might already have yours oriented the right way. We're going to pull it down to the bottom so that the pins are facing upwards. Click to drop. And without pressing escape this time, we're going to click on this image once more. We're going to pull it out all the way to the side, and that way you'll see we've got an isometric drawing, which is what we want. Now, I want an isometric drawing, and it might be a little bit awkward. I want it pointing to the left and down, which is what I've got there. So I'm going to find that view, click to drop there, and now I'm going to press escape. So I'm out of my projected view. I've just got my normal cursor. I'm going to click and drag this image, pull it all the way to the top, and you will see, if I move it to the side a bit, everything else snaps to each other except the isometric drawing. If I move this over here, everything snaps so that I've got those projection lines. It's always snapping to the absolute top and bottom and the absolute left and right to make sure it's all in proportion. And then I'm just going to move this drawing up here. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to press D and I'm going to add a few key dimensions. Now, this means that I've actually got quite an abstract shape. So if yours is more geometric and you've got more straight lines, more common angles, you might find that this is easier for you to decipher. All I'm going to do is set a dimension between my absolute length of my shape. So all I'm going to do is zoom into this side, press D. There's my dimension tool. It's toggled on. I'm going to click this line all the way on the right hand side, on the left hand side. I'm going to click this line all the way on the right without pressing anything else. And I'm going to lift it up, lift the dimension up above the shape. It'll snap to the center. And I'm just going to drop it there. Okay. I'm going to do the same on this view for my the height. So I'm going to zoom in my dimension mode, click both edges, put my dimension out, and that is, don't worry if it's a decimal, it's not a problem. Now you're going to find a couple of more dimensions. Maybe I'm going to do the exact width of my photo frame, all the way down, and the exact height. If you've got multiple sizes or multiple shapes of frames, you might want to do that to all of them. If you've got a circle, I've got a nice big circle here. I'm just going to make sure I've got the radius there. And maybe even, oh, the radius of another arc or another shape. With things like this, where I've got multiple arcs connected, I'm not going to worry about that. That's too complex to do in this drawing. We're not going to bother with those. So I've got a couple, maybe I'll just do the thickness of the total thickness as well. There you go. If it's too thin, don't worry if your dimension is just above or below the line. Right, okay, so I've got a couple of dimensions on here. You don't need everything. This just gives a broad overview of how big your model is going to be. The only thing I've not got now is I do have some details that I'm currently missing, and these are the dimensions of some of my clips. So I've got my screws, and I've also got these tiny little clips. These are the things that swivel and actually hold the frame in place. I do want to dimension these because it's quite an important part, but and you need to find a part that's too small but is still quite an interesting shape. So I'm going to do these clicks. You might have other elements of your frame that you want to do what's called a detail view of. And all you can do is zoom right into that part, and you're going to click this button at the top. It looks like a blue circle with a series of steps going down it. You're going to click it, and when you click now, you're going to have a circle. So it's going to start in the middle like that, and you're going to draw a circle outwards. And this circle is going to encompass your clip. So zoom in, or your the view of the detailed thing that you want to show bigger. You're going to put your cursor about where the center of that object is. Click. Oh, and just pull it out so it comfortably covers it. And now you're going to drop it somewhere on the page. And before I do that, it's bigger, but it's still far too small for me to really work from. I'm going to change the scale to, let's go 5:1. If the first number, imagine these as like a fraction, 5:1, 5/1, that's 5 times the size. If it's 1:5, 1 divided by 5, it's a fifth of the size. That's how scales work. Okay, so that looks good to me. 5:1. I'm going to drop that just in this empty space here. As you can see, I know it's tiny, but we've got a little A that comes up there, and a little A that matches there. Oh, sorry. What I can do now is I can add some more acute dimensions to this part. For example, the radius of the tab. the distance between each part. And it really doesn't matter exactly what these are, but you just need to show that you've got a detailed view and you've dimensioned it accordingly. Okay, so that's about all we need to do. We've just got one or two bits more. The first thing, and we did this in the technical drawing, is we need to fill out our title block. So if I double click where it's got the dashes, I can just delete the dashes and write in caps locks. Make sure every text on your technical drawings is in caps locks. Photo display. This is called an orthographic drawing. So photo display orthographic is what I'm going to call mine. If you've named your design or you've got a certain number for it, you might want to call it something else. And you're just going to go ahead. Drawing number, it should be 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 3, depending on what order you've done these in. Scale, we've actually modified the scale, haven't we? It's I can't remember what it was. Was it 1 to 5? Yes, 1 to 5 scale. So make sure all that's correct. The other thing you can do is you're just going to add some text. I'm going to whiz through this because we're running a bit short on time. And your text is this A button here, and this lets you put a note in. So you'll see when you click it, you get something called note. And you can now just type. And all you're going to do is with caps locks on, you're going to write something like, all wood to be laser cut, or all wood to be routed. You can put another note in that says something like, all screws M6. If you've made your, what else did we do? We did a rebate. So rebate for glass manufactured with router. This just shows that you've considered, and you can move these, you can stack them, you can make them neat. This just shows you've considered several different elements of the design. You can put them around the page. It reads them all up. Okay, so that is one of your second technical drawing done. All you need to do now is you need to do one more technical drawing, but of a much more basic part. So, for example, just a single part. What you're going to do, and we are going to do this super quick, create technical drawing, and you're going to do everything you've done for this, but you're just going to take one part and you're going to do it well. So, insert part studio. Let's have a look what we've got. Maybe I'll do this part. Again, let's scale it 1 to 4. And now you can put some more acute dimensions in. So I've got 10. I can include the radius of this curve. Oh, I can have the absolute height of it, the absolute thickness. And one thing I'm not going to show you, but you might want to do something called a section view. And I'm sure there are lots of tutorials for that, especially to show your rebate of this. There are lots of tutorials on that if you want to go ahead. I don't think we've got time to do that now, but what I'll do is I'll leave you to that, and hopefully you'll have